Take you to these live pictures now in Miami Beach. Our Glenna Milberg is really getting tossed around out there. And Glenna, you have some new information for everyone.
We do. Lori, Calvin, we come to you right when some bouts of weather are coming through. Just right before, maybe 2 minutes ago, a complete whiteout. You would not have been able to see the Intracoastal here. And before I share with you what we've learned and saw, I just want to point out the streetlight, big metal streetlight that had come crashing down, and the wire attached to it that comes up along here. And that is significant because what I can tell you, new information that we've actually seen for ourselves, and actually good news, the first responders are now out. We have seen the first of those people we saw was Miami Beach's police chief riding shotgun around with another one of his colleagues, assessing what's going on. They stopped at a couple of businesses that were damaged. They actually told us, reminded us that it is not yet safe to be out. They don't really like that. We are out and about. Want to assure everybody we are taking precautions to be very safe as possible, to bring you the conditions and what you need to know, and for people listening, updates on this neighborhood, which Miami Beach has sustained some pretty significant flooding damage, tree down damage, and the streets are a mess. A couple of other things to tell you. You know that the city was under curfew. Last night it began 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. Well, tonight they're going to do the same thing. Another curfew beginning at 8 p.m. tonight, right through to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the reason is because of the scenes you see like this. The worst of the winds may be ending. However, my thought process is there might be the trees that are not fallen over, poles that are not downed may have been weakened and could go over or break off or fly around in significantly lower winds. That is the thought process. And so even though the weather might be improving little by little as the night goes on, it's still dangerous weather, and the conditions that it created are still dangerous as well. And you see the flooding. You're looking at Collins Avenue down 41st Street. Beyond that is the beach. And this road is impassable because once you get to Collins Avenue right there, the water is so deep. So many neighborhoods we've been around, we have seen this kind of flooding, and we have seen streets that were once, just 2-3 days ago, beautiful tree-lined, shrub-lined streets are now like mangled jungles and big chunks of bark and tree and branch in the middle. So the curfew in place still, first responders out still. We have not seen anybody actually respond to a problem. My sense is that they are in an assessment mode, driving around. We've seen a few fire rescue personnel driving around with lights on. They are the only ones on the streets besides one or two probably residents we've seen who might have stayed. The mayor's memo indicates that nobody will be allowed into Miami Beach until they assess the roads and the conditions are safe enough to do that. I'm not sure how they're keeping people away. I haven't seen any road blockages. I haven't seen anybody stop someone from coming on to Miami Beach who might have evacuated. So my sense is that's an urging, a suggestion, rather than a hard law, just based on my own observations. So to recap, conditions still very dangerous. Squalls keep coming through every once in a while, more rain, much flooding still in the neighborhoods, many roads impassable, and another curfew about to occur at 8 p.m. tonight to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So that is, Lori, Calvin, what I can tell you right now. We haven't seen any of the machinery and the recovery and rescue machinery that they have staged over at the Emergency Operations Center at Mount Sinai Medical Center. So I think first responders have decided that for them the conditions are such that they can come out and begin to see what they're up against.
And Glenna, and along Ocean Drive, I know in Fort Lauderdale there were some instances where some businesses got some damage from all of the wind. Is that the case along Ocean Drive, or you haven't had a chance to check it out yourself?
We actually did. We did drive Calvin around down Ocean Drive. It's a mess, and mostly a tree mess. Coconuts. The Victor Hotel, I noticed the V was missing. It's now the Ictor Hotel. And so damage like that, I did not see any structural damage. I didn't see any glass broken or buildings crumbled or any of that. Mainly just shrubbery, tree limbs. You know, as we look at one of the first responders I was talking about, Miami Beach Fire Rescue, does not appear that they're making a call. It appears that they are just taking stock. So along Ocean Drive, what we really did notice, because remember Ocean Drive is right along the beach, and the beach has a berm, and the berm, big sand berm running along the edge of the beach before you get out to the street, that's actually there for hurricane mitigation. Let's walk over to see, as we're watching Miami Beach Fire Rescue respond to a building for some reason. Let's see what we can ascertain here. Bear with us, everybody.
I don't want to get in the way. Have you been able to check with Mount Sinai, and how are things going there? Have people been trying to get in there even during the storm with emergencies?
Don't know the answer to that question, Lori. Because of HIPAA laws and privacy, hospitals, Mount Sinai Medical Center and others don't really talk about what patients do or don't do, and so I don't know that. I do know that the beach was so evacuated, not many people are around. We did see a couple, like this woman passing us right now, did try to go to the police station at the height of the storm. So it sounds like the police station is where some people were headed if they felt like they were in a place where they should not have been and were frightened of the weather. So we have a couple of fire rescue personnel who have gone into a building called Beach Plaza. Looks like they're going to a specific apartment. Looks like they have gone down the hallway. I don't see them anymore. So this does look, just from what we're seeing, it looks like this is a response to a specific call. Let me give Mario his hat back. This is the first that we've seen of an ambulance actually stopping to make a call. Lori, Calvin, we have seen a lot of rescue personnel go back and forth. While we're waiting to see if we can figure this out, take a look at the Intracoastal. The wind is picking up again. The Intracoastal had risen to such a place a few hours ago that in some parts, you know, it runs along Collins Avenue. You see the wind pushing the water off the surface. It had risen to almost street level in some places, and as we look down Collins Avenue, big boulevard, a major boulevard, of course, there are parts of Collins Avenue to the north where you're looking that are underwater, that are impassable, and then at the very, let's see, about 10 blocks from here, huge trees have blocked the road, and we watched people sort of trying to get around it, driving the wrong way. I mean, you know, the conditions are such that it's almost like a lawlessness here. And I don't mean that in the pejorative. I mean that people are just trying to do what they need to do. And it's making it very dangerous. You can see there is a vehicle coming down this way on the right side of the road. But to drive anywhere really in this city, you cannot do it on the road you're supposed to do it. You will find yourself crossing roads, crossing medians. We've gotten more wind. You can see, you can hear it. It's been a very surreal time in this city. I'm going to tell you right now, there is nothing above us and a concrete wall next to us, so I feel like we're fairly safe as more weather comes through. Let's check on our firefighters.
And Glenna, while you're doing that, I think our Leanne Motorhome reported that Hotel Chelsea had an issue with one of its signs coming down. Were you able to see that?
Say that again. Which sign? Which building?
Hotel Chelsea, I believe, from earlier today.
There were a couple of signs. That might have been one of them. There were a number of signs that have come off of different buildings. I wasn't sure whether it was a hotel or not. Some of the, especially along Ocean Drive and where businesses and hotels and tourists, they have a lot of signage that are on old buildings. We've seen a couple of damage instances like that. It looks like the firefighters are with someone who is a manager of sorts with the building, who is showing them some sort of issue. So it doesn't look like anybody is hurt in there, just from what it looks like. They are checking out maybe a fire alarm, but it looks like there's nobody hurt, which is good news. It's coming up, Calvin, Lori, when we went all the way to the end of the beach and back. Really interesting, some of the streets in certain neighborhoods, part of the hardening against sea level rise, have been raised. Those streets are dry, and that, may indicate that as we go forward-thinking cities who are susceptible to sea damage, raising those streets in this instance looks like it worked. Here's one of the, going down the road there looks like a military vehicle. That's one of, I'm not sure, frankly, who that is. But while we're looking at something that appears to be a military vehicle, I can remind you that there are military vehicles, at least one very large one, that is part of the contingent that they're using or will be using to take out and clear the roads. It was military surplus donated to the city. Let's see.
Glenna, it's just great to see first responders
Everything okay?
getting out there.
Yeah, nobody hurt, right?
No, it was just an alarm activation. Here,
Okay,
I got some more.
thanks. How are things looking around the city while I have you?
They're gonna need a little bit of work, but we're responding right now on medical calls and stuck elevators.
Have there been a lot of medical calls?
Luckily, not so many because a lot of people have evacuated.
Yeah.
So the people that have stayed here were healthy and strong.
Yeah, so no dire life safety issues? People
No.
heeding the call?
Not really. No.
How many stuck elevators
A few.
with people in them?
Well, after the power went out, that didn't happen as much.
He's got some great stories. We were talking before. Have him regale you. All right, so stuck elevators and a couple of medical calls from people who have stayed. This is an alarm issue here. So I think the good thing to take from this is, even though conditions are still so poor, they're okay enough for the professionals, for the first responders to begin to come out and meet the needs of anyone who has those kind of emergency needs. That, of course, was not the case yesterday. Anybody who was in real trouble during the height of the storm last night, overnight, was not going to get that response. So I'm going to consider this is the first sign that things are looking up. Lori, Calvin.
Okay, Glenna Milberg live for us on Miami Beach. We're going to be checking back in with you in the next hour. Thanks a lot, Glenna.